Hi guys, so this is component one, references, peer review and report writing presentation. So we are kind of in the statistics booklet from page 46. Okay, so the first thing is referencing. Like I have to be honest, guys. Big picture here is you need to be you need a familiarity of what a journal article reference looks like, mainly probably for the multiple choice section of the exam. So this is not a big deal, but going forward, those of you going to university, you'll have to reference your work, and depending on kind of what happens, at some point I will get you to start writing essays where you'll have to reference people's work and books and everything. So this is a good introduction, and we'll kind of do more practical work on it when I've got you back. Okay, so journal articles are like a little kind of magazine article that has been written by a group of researchers, and it's been deemed good enough to be published, and we'll talk about how that process shortly. And so what I've done is just kind of shown you here two references from two of the studies that we've done and will be doing. So we've done Sperry recently, so that's quite a short little one. And then Grant's one, you'll see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Also researchers who contributed to Grant's memory work, which is the study we'll be going on to this week. Okay, so being psychology, as you know, we like things being done in a very particular way, but this does transfer to any other subject as well. So each kind of component in there has to be in the same order with the correct comma or full stop or in italics. So if you kind of go through them, and I'll put out the Sperry one because it's the straightforward one, you'll see the surname of the person is first with a comma, then you've got the initials in blue with full stops, then you've got the date of publishment, which is 1968 in brackets, then you've got the name of the article, which we know, hemisphere deconnection and unity in the conscious awareness, and then the name of the journal, so like the magazine that gets published in, and you write that in italics, and that's in this case American Psychologist. Then you've got the volume number, and sometimes there's an issue number in brackets afterwards, and then the first enlarged page on the magazine. So these kind of journals, these magazines, get published every 3 or 4 months. But what happens is universities will store them in really chunky books. So if you go to a university, they will have like original copies of them, but nowadays you can obviously access them, each one electronically. I literally spent hours reading and photocopying these when I was at university before we had technology. It was like, honestly, when you guys be able to access them electronically, oh, you do not know how lucky you are. Okay, so what you need to know, you need to be able to tell me what each of these would be. So, you know, who knows, if there's a recap test next week, I would say, oh, what would this mean in a reference? Okay, so just kind of get some revision notes on that done for me, but I'll set all the work at the end. Secondly, we're looking at peer review. Okay, so what happens is a researcher would write their reports up and they'd then submit it to magazine, these journals, to see if they get it published. And the journals obviously aren't experts in everything, so they pass it over to other people to kind of see if it's good enough to be published and worthy and not made up. Okay, so the process of this is you'd submit your kind of publication. So Grant would have submitted his publication about the context dependent memory, or Loftus would have done hers. The editor then examines the topic and will have set people they will then send it to who are experts, and they will then kind of critically appraise the work, and they might even kind of make suggestions to improve it in that process, and then we'll talk about if it would be kind of published. So this can go backwards and forwards a few times, but that is the process in which kind of a peer review would happen. There are issues though. The three biggest are plagiarism, falsification, and fabrication. So these are kind of key terms on this. So plagiarism is when you copy someone's work. Okay, you kind of come up with your own. You're saying that someone else's idea is yours. It happens quite a lot in music. I think Ed Sheeran did a massive payout on someone for allegedly using some chords of one of his songs. Falsification is when you can like, it's not lying, but it's kind of like omitting data. So it'd be like missing out data. So you've got all these cracking results, but a few people don't fit in you kind of fit the pattern, so you just exclude them. Okay, so you're kind of making it sound like there is a pattern when there probably wasn't. And then fabrication is just making it up, so it never actually happened. You never know, you might have done this in some of the studies that I've asked you to do. Who knows? Okay, there are other problems though. The people who actually do the peer review might be biased, so that's a potential. Some people hate new ideas. A lot of academics are very conservative and don't like change. So people might just reject things because they don't believe that this could be true. Some people will not be objective. They might have their subjective opinions or not like the person, so they'll be biased, which kind of leads on to the next one about people might be biased over other people's work. They may not like different people from different genders or races, and that could affect their view on the work. And also something called the file drawer phenomenon, which quite often people like positive results. So we like for saying there is a difference. So quite often when we find that things don't occur, that kind of information kind of gets missed out. So that's kind of the kind of pros and cons of the kind of peer review process. But again, the main bulk of this is understanding what the idea of a peer review is, and the kind of the three main issues of fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. That will kind of be enough. But again, I'll tell you what to kind of do. And lastly, and probably the most important, and I'll be honest, guys, if we get back, we'll spend quite a lot of time on this because it's something any of you going to university will really need to kind of work on, and that's been able to read the main articles of people's work, but also knowing how to do it yourself. I will attach Loftus and Palmer's one, which is quite straightforward. You obviously should know it, and you can kind of see, and there are kind of 7 main sections of a report. Okay, so there's an abstract, which is like a summary, an introduction, which is like the essay part of the theory based part. Method is like the methodology, who do you use to sample, that kind of stuff. Results are both descriptive and inferential statistics. Your discussion is like, what does it mean, what hypothesis was supported, improvements. References are where you've cited other people's work so you can give them credit, and dependencies is where you put all your extra information, like all the resources that you've used, your data, your full set of data. Okay, so have a look at the Loftus and Palmer one, and you should be able to see all of this in there. Okay, so there's 2 kind of main things to do from this session. Okay, the first one is everything up. All the stuff about referencing and peer review, get some revision notes done on that. But the main bulk of the work is I want you to kind of make a leaflet, a poster. If you want to do boring notes, just do boring notes about what each section of a psychology article would look like. I will also attach a guide which is like 20 pages long, so you need to kind of cut that down. Okay, and you need to know quite a bit about each section. One of the exam questions once was, tell me 3 things that would happen in an introduction, for example. Okay, so take your time on this. It will take more than the lesson time of an hour and a half, all of this, if you're going to do it properly. So I think just making sure I get a copy of this handout, leaflet, boring notes, so I can check that you've got everything that you need. Okay, that's what I require for this session. Okay, great. Okay, I'll see you on the live chat. You know, you can video link or anything like that. I hope you're all well and safe, and not getting too bored of my lovely voice. Okay, right, catch you soon, guys. Bye.